Hey everyone, my name is Sarah and this is my service dog Bailey, and a couple weeks ago I did post some videos about packing for our winter break trip, and I did want to give you guys an update about what our experience with TSA and security was like when we were flying. At the first airport we went through, we just went through the line and got to security, took off my shoes and like my jacket and stuff, put it in the bins, took my laptop out of my backpack, put it in the bin, everything else like her blanket, and I took off her vest and we put that in a bin, and then we lined up for the metal detector. I kept her e-collar and her collar and her leash on. I could have kept her vest on, but that requires more like pat downs for her, and it's easier for me to just have it over quicker and have a less like thorough pat down of her. So that's the way we chose to do it. When it was our turn for the metal detector, I went through first, and then I did dropped leash recall. So I dropped her leash on one end, walked through, it didn't go off for me, and then I would call her through, it would go off for her, and then they would pat her down. They were pretty respectful with the pat down. It wasn't like aggressive or anything. It was just like, okay, there's nothing on or in your service animal. And I did get a few compliments about how well behaved she was, and when I mentioned she was a service animal, they did mention there were quite a few untrained service animals that went through the airport. So it was good to know that, you know, they recognized that her training was legitimate and all that. And so we got through security. Her e-collar wasn't a problem in going through security, and I was worried about that. One TSA person did tell me it was dog abuse, and I just rolled my eyes and kept walking, as usual when a member of the public who doesn't know that much about dog training tells me that. On the flight back, I will mention that the Denver International Airport has a separate line for people with disabilities to go through security. It's basically just like the fast track line that gets you past the super long lines, but it's so much nicer because it gets you through without having to protect your dog from like kids trying to pet from all sides, and like people not leaving you alone and keeping asking you questions. And also if you have chronic pain or something like that, not having to stand in that line forever is also super great. The TSA staff was wonderful, especially considering on the second flight they were not getting paid because of the government shutdown. So even when not getting paid, they were watching out for our safety and being pretty respectful. And from like a couple years ago when Bailey and I first started to fly together, there has been, a drastic change in how good they are and how respectful they are to people with disabilities, and how, friendly they were in general. So I will say there has been a big improvement recently, at least for our experiences, and it was not nearly as stressful as I thought it was going to be. So as long as your dog has a good stay and recall and is good around crowds and in distractions, I wouldn't stress out about TSA at all. They do have to do a swab to check for bomb residue on your hands. I almost forgot to mention that, and that adds like 30 seconds before you can grab your stuff after you are out of the metal detector, but that was no problem at all. So yeah, that was our experience with TSA. I'm going to do another one about our experience in the airport and with Southwest Airlines, so keep an eye out for that. Please subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching. Thanks.